that if they could hold on and get into the playoffs, they have the pedigree to really make some noise. If I'm not mistaken, they won it either not last year, but maybe the year before, right? So they have the expectation, they have the pedigree, and they have the programming. They may not have the dominant athletes, but in high school football, you don't need to have the dominant athletes to win. So I'm excited to see how they continue to progress during the season and see if they can kind of skeech into the playoffs, the Ohio high school playoffs.
Yes, it'll be very interesting to see how that all details. Jimmy, just a couple more minutes here. What else have you seen in the Columbus area? Who are some other teams to watch out for?
You know, one that we had last night, man, which is an interesting turn. You know, one of those dominant errors was Pickerington, right? And the dominant error started with all you had to say was Pickerington, right? And then when they opened the second school, then you had to be very clear. Are you talking about Pickerington Central or Pickerington North? So for years, you just continue even to say Pickerington, even though North was out there. But now more than recently, you've had to literally make that distinction between North and Central. And I think there's a changing of the guard out in East Central Ohio in that Pickerington land. We did the Pickerington Central game last night. And if there's one term that I'm going to use, it's athletic. They were athletic at on defense, they were athletic at every position. On offense, they were athletic at every position that they needed to be athletic in. The only thing, again, the word we talked about last night was identity, and we talked about at the beginning of the game when we talked about the keys. If they can find out and figure out what their identity is, build on that identity and not have to so much count on all that doggone athletic ability, that team, and if they're even young, they're going to be at the top of the mix in Ohio high school football for 3 to 4 years. If they can find what is going to be our identity, they're going to be a tough playoff team.
Once again, that's our good friend Jimmy Bell here on the Friday Night Recap Show. Jimmy, thanks for joining us, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one. Great weekend. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks indeed. Jimmy Bell, former Ohio State Buckeye TKDS analyst. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll take a look at the Columbus scores and do our game picks before we wrap it up here on the Friday Night Recap Show.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again.
Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Central State University is home.
Time, who I'm gonna be when I'm in the limelight, shining in the dark like I was a nightlight. It's my time, yeah. I went from the back to front, last to one, future looking magnanimous. We on the way, no doubt. We on the way, no doubt.
For God,
for Central, for State.
When life gets messy, make it sweet. Only Dirty Dough delivers maximum flavor from the inside-out layers, mix-ins, and gooey fillings. No filters, no fuss, just real cookies for real life. Every week, a rotating lineup of handcrafted flavors. Join the loyalty program, earn points on every purchase, redeem for free cookies, and get a cookie on your birthday. Dirty Dough, it's what's inside that counts.
Looking to elevate your brand with quality custom printing? Red Ball Specialty Printing in Springfield, Ohio. Family owned and dedicated to attention, quality, and service. We customize everything from shirts, drinkware, pens, awards, and more. Whether 50 pieces or 5,000, we deliver color crisp, branding brilliant. From promotional apparel to recognition awards, we're your one-stop for impactful merchandise. Visit rbspdesignschipley.com or call 937-215-0740 today. Red Ball, you think it, they ink it.
When every second counts and every drop matters, you don't settle for ordinary. You power up with Power Mist Racing Fuels. Trusted by champions, engineered for victory. From drag strips to dirt tracks, Power Mist delivers explosive performance, cleaner burns, and unmatched horsepower. Nitro, alcohol, methanol, gasoline blends. Whatever you race, we've got the fuel to ignite your edge. Power Mist Racing Fuels. Born to burn, built to win.
And now, to the TKDS studios and your host, Jackson and Matt, for the Sports Now Update Show.
Back here on the TKDS Sports Network, Jackson Lightcap alongside Matthew Pennington. Super sorry that we were having, we had a little bit of a connection issue during that last segment, so we were down for a couple of minutes. Great job to the tech crew being able to get us back up as quick as possible. Apologize for the inconvenience, but Matt, the show must go on. I know that you lost connection for a minute. Hopefully you hear me just fine.
I can hear you. Hopefully you can hear me.
I hear you. The tech crew did an amazing job. Perfect. Of getting us back on. So a huge thanks to the tech crew. But nonetheless, Matt, real quick before we fly through the Columbus scores and then start talking about our Game of the Week picks, Jimmy Bell, what do you think? Calling the JV the homies?
I'm here for it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's fun. I think it's funny. I like
Next time we call a JV football game, it's not going to be called a JV football game. It's going to be called a homie football game.
I think we go, like you said, I think it's Thursday, it's JV. I think Saturday
it's
but
JV.
If they're on, if they're suited up for varsity, you got to call them the homies. I think if they're suited up for varsity, you got to, I think that's when you can, I think there's a line that you can't, I think there's a line to it. I think Thursday.
Any other day of the
Saturday
week but
through
Friday.
Thursday, Saturday through Thursday, you call it JV. Once they get on that field, once they suit up for Friday Night Lights, that's when you can call. That's when I think you can call them the homies. I think that's when it happens. I think it's when it should happen.
Oh, so funny. Let's go into some Columbus scores. Canal Winchester topples over Reynoldsburg 55-30. Tejas Valley beats Lancaster 37-14. Groveport Madison beats Newark 35-13. Pick Central over Logan 60-47. Pick Central, the Tigers looking mighty fine so far this season. Westerville South beats Dublin Scioto and a close one 26-18. Big Walnut over Delaware Hayes 44-7. How about Worthington Kilbourne this season? 3-1 to start, beating Westland 48-38. In the Cardinal division, they played some cross games with some other OCC teams, Olentangy over Central Crossing 43-6. Hilliard-Davidson will beat Hilliard Darby 35-14. Westerville Central over Dublin Jerome 24-16. Olentangy Liberty wins their battle against another Olentangy school to get their first win of the season. The reigning Division I state champions, who lost 31 seniors from last year, get their first win. They're 1-3, beating them 10-7. Hilliard Bradley beats Marysville 42-14. Thomas Worthington beats Grove City 42-21. Pickerington North over Dublin Kaufman 24-0. The Kaufman offense has combined for 17 points through the first 4 games of the season, including 2 shutouts as well. Olentangy Orange beating Gahanna Lincoln and possibly the game of the week. They're in Columbus 35-21, and Upper Arlington over top of New Albany 42-7. And Matt, we should probably go back through and calculate up how many games and scores we actually have to read off on that show, because that's all. We have a couple Saturday games coming up. As Gamble Montessori will be playing Belmont. That game will be covered on the TKDS Sports Network. A kickoff for that one at 12:30. Woodward will play Thurgood Marshall, and Stivers will play Phoenix Foxfire. What a great name that is. That game, all those games will be played today during the afternoon. Matt, anything that sticks out to you in the Ohio Capital Conference?
I mean, not too much. I mean, we see Pick Central. They're always a team when it comes to the Ohio Capital Conference that is towards the top and is able to do what they were able to do last night, winning 64-7. I mean, you got Pick North playing as good as ever, continuing to be another one of those teams towards the top of the Central. You got Orange taking down Gahanna Lincoln. Kind of surprised that game was close early. Then Orange decided, hey, we're going to get back to the way we play football. They extended the lead by quite a bit. Gahanna Lincoln scored a bit late to make it a 14-point game, but I wasn't expecting that moment in the game where Olentangy Orange just shot out of a cannon and left Gahanna Lincoln behind. I was expecting that to be tight game, close from first whistle to last whistle of the game, but Olentangy Orange found a burst in the middle of that game that just shot them, like I said, shot him out of a cannon, gave him a 35-14 advantage. Gahanna Lincoln scores late to make it a 35-21 game. So I kind of expected it to be kind of like what we saw early in that game. Gahanna Lincoln was up 14-7 at one point. It was back and forth early in that game. That's what I was expecting through all four quarters. But Olentangy Orange was able to prevail and push themselves to a big enough gap to where it didn't matter what Gahanna Lincoln did late in that game. They wanted, obviously, Upper Arlington. No surprise with how dominant of a win they had. We talk about teams that ebb and flow. They've got great seasons. Then they have years where they struggle. It's kind of tough seeing Reynoldsburg being a team that is struggling as much as they are, losing to Canal Winchester 55-30. A couple years ago, they were a team that was one of the better teams in the Ohio Capital Conference, not just the Buckeye Division, but they were one of the top teams in Columbus. So they're in their downstate. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we see Reynoldsburg be a team that's towards the top of the Buckeye Conference or Buckeye Division, fighting with Pick Central for one of the top spots or the top spot. So it's just weird seeing Reynoldsburg be losing games 55-30 when not too long ago we were seeing them beating teams 55-3 kind of scoreline for Reynoldsburg. So I expect in a few years we're going to see Reynoldsburg back to where we kind of expect them to be, and it's been a slow couple of years, but there's a lot of not too surprising stuff. But you also mentioned Worthington Kilbourne, the way they've started off the season, 48-38 win last night. There's some things that surprised me in the OCC, but there's also quite a few things. Pick Central, Pick North, Upper Arlington. Not too surprising with those games.
Absolutely. And Matt, that'll take us in now to our Week 5 game picks. Our current standings, Matt, we have 7. Everybody is within 3 games. 7 of us are within 2, and we have 6 within 1. Currently, there's a 3-way tie for first. Gabe Payne, John Snyder. I think that's the first time that John has. It's weird that he's not on the show today, because I think that's the first time he's ever been above both you and I at the same time in the standings. He's been in second before, but yeah, no, he missed his chance to gloat. Kyle Funk also sitting in first. Matt, you, I, and David Marshall all sit currently tied for fourth, 15-8. Tim sits in seventh, 14-9, and Kevin sitting in last at a 13-10 overall record. Matt, some upcoming game picks. Let's start from the bottom top. Anderson at Kings. I'll kick this one off. Kings is a great team. I am not going against Anderson, and then until the Raptors prove me otherwise, give me Anderson in that one.
Same sentiments for me in this game. It's the same thing I talked about with Milton Union back when they had a dominant season where they lost to Valley View in the playoffs. A team has to beat Anderson for me to consider picking against Anderson. Give me the Raptors over the Knights.
Pick Central at Canal Winchester.
Talked about how good the Tigers have been. Talked about how it wasn't surprising the way they won 64-7 last night. I'm convinced with how good this Tigers team is. I'm not going to put them in that category of someone's going to beat them in order for me to be convinced otherwise, but they've been that good so far this season, so give me Pick Central.
Yeah, I don't think Pick Central gets knocked off. They had that Week 3 loss against Pick North. They come out. They had some anger built up in them. I like Canal Winchester. I think Pick Central is just a little bit higher up. Give me the Tigers of Pick Central. Next up, Tri-Village Tri-Village with Ansonia. When you look at Tri-Village and Ansonia over the last couple of years, this game has really gone back and forth, but Tri-Village has just smoked every single one of their opponents that they have played this season. Ansonia, the glooming loss that looms for me is that loss against Preble Shawnee. Preble Shawnee is a great team. I don't think Ansonia should have lost that game 34-8. Give me Tri-Village.
Yeah, give me the Patriots. I mean, you take a look at Ansonia, they're still a really good team. Don't get me wrong. They're not as good as they have been in the past. Tri-Village, it feels like they're still at the level they've been at over the past couple seasons. So give me the Patriots.
Out next, St. X at Moeller.
It's the same argument I'm making with Anderson. Yes, Moeller and in Pick Central. Yes, Pick Central has a loss on the season, but it's a rivalry game against Pick North. I was at that game last year. That game is a dogfight year in and year out. Moeller, St. X, it's the same story. It's a dogfight year in and year out. Moeller, though, yes, St. X is undefeated on the season, but Moeller, in my opinion, and I think it's backed by the games they've played, had a tougher schedule, and their only losses to the number 2 team in the state of Illinois. Give me the Crusaders.
Crusaders, for me, all the way. I can't go against Moeller until Moeller loses an in-conference game. Matt Ponatoski, I think Moeller returned a lot more than what last year happened. I got to go Crusaders. Up next, Lakota East at Princeton. Matt, I like Lakota East. I like what they bring to the table. I like who they have. I think head coach John Kitna, former Bengals quarterback, has done an incredible job with the Thunderhawks. But I like Princeton a little bit more, and the reason because of that is because Lakota East I still think is on the rise. I think Princeton is there. They've been there for the last couple of years as the top dog in the GMC. I can't go against the top dog until proven otherwise. I do think Lakota East at some point is going to surpass them, but a little bit younger of a team going up against this Princeton Vikings squad this Friday. Princeton is quote-unquote home at Laughlin because their stadium's in renovations, but still the home turf advantage. Give me the Vikings in this one.
I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to go with the Princeton Vikings, and I 100% agree with Lakota East and how they've been. You take a look at before Kitna was the head coach of that team, they were a team that was middle of the pack at best, struggling inside of the GMC. Since Kitna's been the head coach, they have constantly been climbing and climbing and climbing inside of the GMC. And like you said, I don't think they've hit their peak yet. I don't think Lakota East and the Thunderhawks have hit the best that we can see this team be. But Princeton, I feel like, is at that. I think Princeton can be better than what they are. Saying that they're at their peak, I don't think is true because Princeton can go further when it comes to the playoffs and when it comes to what they're capable of. But taking down Lakota West in the fashion they did last night, that gives me more confidence in this Vikings team to pick them against Lakota East.
Up next, Wayne at Fairmont. Matt, I'm going to steal this one from you. The reason why I got to go Wayne. I like Fairmont. I think that they're a good squad, but I got to go Wayne. And the reason I say that is because Wayne has a great aerial attack. Kai Graham, over 1,000, leading passer in the GWalk as a sophomore. You have Marion Sroof, who has the leading receiver in the GWalk. And then you also have Jameer Avra-Brown, who's going to be going and playing Power 4 football somewhere at a conference. What's been the kryptonite this season for the Firebirds? It just hasn't been the defense. It's been the passing defense. This aerial attack for Wayne is going to throw all over the field. I think Fairmont's offense is going to do really good things against that Wayne defense, but I got to go with the Warriors in this one. On the road win and a big win for Wayne.
And yeah, like you said, when it comes down to the matchup between Fairmont's defense and that Wayne offense, it's not just that Jameer Brown is going to be playing Power 4 football. He's hard committed to the Buckeyes. So if you're a wide receiver hard committed to Ohio State, you are a dude at wide receiver if you are hard committed to play at Ohio State at the wide receiver position. And the fact that they've got that level of talent for Wayne and the fact that Fairmont has struggled against the pass, I think this matchup suits Wayne in more ways than one. Yes, Fairmont blew him out last year. You and I were at that game. But you also have to take a look at the fact that Wayne didn't have their starting quarterback in that game against Fairmont last year. And Wayne brought in a lot of talent from last year's team into this year. So give me the Wayne Warriors.
Wayne Warriors all the way. That's what my pick is. So, Matt, looks like we're pretty consistent this week. That'll take us to the end of the show. Alongside Matthew Pennington, our executive producer Ivan, CEO Kevin Fowler, I'm Jackson Lightcap. Thanks for dealing with us for the last 3 hours. Hey, week 4 is in the books. We're on to week 5 next week, Friday night recap show, 8 to 11. Thanks for watching us. Make sure to tune into the other games on the network today.